Yo, what's happening, y'all? This is Curtis Duncan checking in with you, aka Dr. C, and wanted to, talk about this whole issue of whether it is really healthier to be a vegetarian. I do embrace the plant-based diet. I feel it can be very beneficial for many people, particularly if you have the right information on how to properly follow it. But at the same time, I can't really say that animal foods are the problem with the American diet. Nor can I state firmly that animal foods are poison. I know for a lot of us, and this is something that, my becoming a vegetarian, a vegan, what have you, getting into raw foods, that was the main premise, that, raw is, it's best to eat, raw vegan food. And everything else is poison, it harms the environment. It destroys the waterways, and it causes poverty and all types of, hunger in the world. Because we can take the grains and use those to feed the world and what have you. But all these premises true. We believe a lot of things that may or may not be true. And I know from being in it that, I've been amazed about all the things that I like to call vegan frauds. Or things that are embraced very much in the vegetarian community, or people who choose to embrace veganism, that aren't really healthy. I've done some videos on agave nectar before, and that's a big one, because when we look at our health here in America, we have to look at our consumption of sweeteners. And if we're consuming bad sweeteners like agave nectar, then that's going to make us sick. And a lot of people, when I first put out that video, they were a bit confused. They thought, if it's raw, then it's good. But is that whole premise that something raw or something, when something's raw, that makes it good? Is that really true? Is it really true that people who humans are really herbivores? I know that like I said, a lot of us, for many people, when they first get into health, they meet a lot of people who are vegetarians, who are health gurus, and oftentimes they are told, you got to get off meat, dairy, and all sorts of stuff. But is that really the problem? Or is it just a religion for some people? It's funny to me because a lot of people, they're not into health. They're into veganism. They're into vegetarianism. And that can be very destructive, because I recall one time, just being aware, I went on PETA's website, vegan advocacy group or animal rights advocacy group, and they were talking about all different, foods that were vegan. And I looked at the list and all of it was junk food. And I was like, boy, this is kind of interesting, they're saying all this stuff is vegan, but what does that mean? Are they saying that, this is more humane, or this is more sustainable, or this is healthier? But that kind of took me aback, whoa, a lot of people here are, they're becoming a vegetarian under the guise of being healthier, being better for the planet, being good for the animals and what have you. And not wanting to harm the animals, so they oftentimes have good intentions, but we're operating under a false premise. And it's my firm belief, just being in the vegetarian community for a long time, that a lot of people are just outright engaging in fraud. They're telling people about all these different so-called superfoods and everything else that they should consume. That's so much better than meat. That's actually not. It's actually worse, and it can definitely increase people's chances of being sick. That's what I feel like is really going on when we talk about some of these different things. And we're going to explore this more in my upcoming radio show this Sunday. We will have myself and my lovely host, Miss Eroterica, join us, and we're going to explore some of these questions that I pose, because it's very important. A lot of people, I have a lot of good friends of mine who are vegetarian, vegans, what have you, and it's my fear that a lot of them are operating under some faulty premises. Like I said, I'm not saying that being a vegan is, inherently unhealthy, but is it really healthier? And could it be a distraction, from really helping people to be healthier? Because if you think about it, a lot of vegetarians I know, they're really people who are passionate about health and wellness, about the planet. They're compassionate people. Like I said, they might have their own, be oftentimes religious zealots, or very overzealous about some of their beliefs about veganism. But nonetheless, I feel like these people have good intentions. So it makes you think, it's like, is that like some kind of a ploy? divide and conquer, to kind of separate us, separate vegans from the so-called meat eaters, and to kind of like it means and not really expose them to information that could really help them. Because I know a lot of Americans are really passionate about health and wellness, in this day and age. They want the information, but there's like so much information out there and so much propaganda, and most of it's lies and myths. And it's always been my, passion to expose those lies and myths for the masses. Then it can be very confusing, and people oftentimes feel alienated, and they feel judged, and they feel bad, and they never get the information that they need. Because it's like this whole thing, oh, well, I'm a vegan and you're a meat eater, so, and nothing ever gets done. The health of this country does not improve. The health of the planet does not improve. So it's really time that we kind of, explore this whole meat, vegan issue, particularly from a vegan side, because I feel like most people, they, due to, clever marketing and propaganda, most people actually feel like, hey, it's not really the best thing to eat meat, and that's one of the first things people, want to give up. But there's so much other stuff that really needs to be discussed. So much other stuff in the food, in the water, etc. But nonetheless, check out our show from Raw Talk Radio. This Sunday is going to be a dynamic show. We're going to have Miss Makeda Valletta on air. She is a health and nutrition expert. I'll be on there, myself, and Erica Spears. So check it out. The title of the show is Veganity, a New Age Religion or Sound Science. So be sure to check it out this Sunday at 9 p.m. It's free. You can enjoy it from your computer. But we'd love to have you call in and join the discussion. So take care, y'all, and have a wonderful evening. Peace.